everybody. We're back with the Wandering Keithleys. We happen to be in Tucson this weekend celebrating Tyler's sister's birthday, and we decided to spend one night camping, so we figured we'll film it.
Yeah, we're at Kartchner Cavern State Park. We did the cave tour, and we're going to spend the night rather than driving back all in one trip. So staying tuned, and we got a fun trip ahead of us.
I'll see you guys later.
Hello everybody, Tyler with the Wandering Keithleys checking in this morning. It was a cold night, but I just noticed something. I don't know if this happens to anybody else, but I had to break out the old MSR wind burner to make my coffee this morning because my propane stove, or I think it's butane actually, it might very well be the same thing, but it wouldn't get hot enough to really boil the water in my percolator. So we're boiling some water in the MSR. We're making coffee in the MSR now.
So we are actually back home. We somehow, I think it was just from pure exhaustion, we forgot to film what our new tent looks like and the setup that we have. So we are debating going out possibly this next weekend, and we might film what the inside of our tent looks like when we are set up. And Tyler did talk about his different camping gear. Tyler has always really been very into outdoors. He actually used to work at a store in Montana called the Base Camp. It is a really cool store, so he obviously knows, like, when he worked there, what products to lean towards, not specifically obviously for overlanding, but just in camping in general. So that's fun. Kartchner Caverns I would recommend. I had the most fun, and it wasn't a ton of walking in the big room, which is great for me because obviously I can't walk that much. Other great thing about Kartchner is it is wheelchair accessible. So people that cannot walk these caves, anybody that is in a wheelchair, it is accessible literally for everyone. So everyone gets to see how amazing this cave is. The cave is just, to me, it was mind-blowing. Like, you get to see these formations called like hollow, they're like straws, and they're hollow, and they only grow 1 inch every 1,000 years, and it's like one of the fastest growing formations. So that was really cool. I would highly recommend it, especially if you live in like the Phoenix area. It is only 3 hours away, and the campground is extremely nice. And for $30, we did tent camp in the $30 section. And the great thing about that is we actually had water hookups, which we didn't need. And we got to do electric, which was great because we have some medical equipment that we like running. And we do have a power bank that we run off of usually, but that was fantastic. It was so cold though. We are seriously going to have to figure out something for our winter gear, like in terms of sleeping bag. I think we need a higher ranked sleeping bag. And we have talked about like what kind of portable heater we might want to get in the future, but the 10-person tent that we have worked out amazing. Like, we had so much room, and we actually did not take the dogs on this trip because we got to be with, for those of you obviously that don't know, we actually have a third dog that we had to rehome to my in-laws. She was a rescue, and we got Sage, and they worked really well together for about the first 7 months, and then Sage started growing, and it became an issue, and our other dog, Maggie, actually attacked Sage. So after about the second time, it was no longer safe for Sage or Maggie. Tyler's parents ended up taking Maggie. And honestly, it probably worked out for the better because they love Maggie. We get to see Maggie, so it's not like we, don't get to see her at all anymore. And on top of it, she, lives this really... she lives a spoiled, rotten life. This dog gets meat, lunch meat every night, and she is on some medication for her arthritis. But yeah, so it was nice to get to spend some time with the first dog that Tyler and I actually ever got. So that was great. We had... I cannot emphasize how much fun Kartchner was. We were not able to take any pictures inside the cave because obviously they want to keep it as pristine as and unaffected to the cave, because anything could literally affect it. You have to go through 5 doors. So it's a completely airlocked cave. And then you kind of get misted. So none of the lint and stuff from your clothes get into the cave. And they have a bunch of other things that they do. But it's really neat to see a cave that literally is the same way it was when the two guys, Randy, I think his name was Randy, and Gary, found it. So I honestly would recommend the campground, the bathrooms. Oh, that was the other thing. We actually had bathrooms that were within walking distance. They were it was a really great campground, to be honest. We did get to see an owl in Oro Valley, so that was great. Honestly, this trip was amazing. We just forgot to film most of it. And we were debating whether or not we even wanted to post the videos. But since Tyler and I had so much fun at Kartchner, we decided we were going to post the video regardless. So I would highly recommend the cave. And I think Tyler does want to go back at some point. There's a tour that you do with headlamps, and he really wants to do that. So we might do that in the future. We might take another trip to Tucson. We've discussed possibly doing it during his spring break. So that's something that we're discussing about, how to get out, but go out without spending, we don't want to spend $200 on each trip. A lot of the times, we are very money conscious. This trip, we didn't know if we were going to get to go on because there was a mishap with Coda, and we had to take her to the vet this week. So we were trying to figure out how we could do anything. I will say I probably have the best in-laws. They are so fun. And I actually get along really well with all of Tyler's family. So that is another, I'm very fortunate that we get to go do things as a family, and we have a lot of fun. And of course, since we didn't bring the dogs, Tyler's grandmother watched Coda and Sage for us, and I guess they were having fun. Of course, Coda and Sage think her house is like Disneyland. Coda currently smells like basil. I don't know why she seems to like want to get into the basil, but that's like her favorite thing. So this trip really was fantastic. So yeah, we'll see if we actually do a camping trip this next weekend, if it's close to home, and we'll see what else we have through the grapevine, and hopefully we get a video of our new setup. So that, I think that pretty much sums everything up. I do want to give a special shout out to my sister-in-law, because she's amazing. She turned 21. So that's what we did, you know, this last weekend was for her birthday. And then I have actually my brother's birthday is February 4th. So that's a special happy birthday shout out to you too. So tuning in to the Wandering Keithleys. We'll see you next time.